Hello and welcome to Baileys and Tea Saturday. I am Shanna and you are on Carrot Tops Creative Co. And welcome. Cheers to the Baileys and Tea today. I hope have joined me and are in for a treat today because I got a little treat package to demonstrate that I think you're gonna love. So I hauled out a set that I have not played with yet called Fond of Autumn, and it comes with a bundle where it comes with a bunch of dies and goodies, so you can get both. So this is the stamp set here. Now it's got some great sentiments. Thank you, I'm so fond of you, happy thoughts of you, sending many thanks, autumn wishes, and just a note. And then it's got some elements that you can build upon these great dies here. Now what sold me on this set, and it is a photopolymer set, was the fact that you could stamp the banner with a great little sort of accent to it, and then of course these sentiments will fit on it. And this die, so this die here, die cuts out a gorgeous, and I started it, but what did I do with it? I think I was having troubles with it cutting properly and just didn't have time to do it. But I'll show you a card sample that I recreated by Elizabeth Price, and you'll see it in the background there. And it's gorgeous. And you'll see it in this sample here in the catalog, where they've kind of die cut that whole background out. So it's just stunning. And a fun little trick with the stamp set is that it will actually punch out 3 different elements, and the die that goes over top of it will cut out all 3 of those separately. So it just fits over very, very nicely like that, and then cuts out those 3 elements. So you'll kind of see when I glued it down, I kind of left a little bit of a space. So you get these 2 different berries, this autumn patch, and then the flowers, and the die will cut all that out for you. So if you only want to use the acorn one, you'll have all these extra ones sort of in your stash to use on a different card. There's also a little acorn that cuts out that, a leaf, the flower, and then of course the die cut with the gorgeous detailing, and then that will cut it out as well. You can also just cut around this whole thing. Now the cover photo is shrunken down, so it will fit on the actual stamp. So you could just cut this all out as a whole as well if it was stamped. So a few different options there, but this intricate die is absolutely gorgeous, and the reason why I bought this set. Okay, slide that back in there, and then this fun little detail. So then you'd stamp it, the stamp creates the little image, and then the die cut of course will cut out the, if you get it going in the right direction. I've stamped it the wrong way, but you get the point. It will die cut it out. For some reason it doesn't want to line up. I also brought in a greeting from another beautiful sort of autumn set. I brought in on my project the You're Such a Blessing, basically in preparedness for Thanksgiving coming, and sort of table favor gifts that I'm going to use these this project I'm going to show you today. I'm going to use that for my table setting. So this is the greeting that I brought in from this, but this is a gorgeous set as well. All right, so let's jump into the project. I'll show you the project, and then I'll show you how I created it. So here it is. Now my idea is to put apple cider in here, but I didn't have any on hand right at the moment, so I just had some Macintosh hot chocolate mix, you know, the great little pack you can get from Costco. I had some of those, so I just grabbed one of those and sort of brought in the colors off of that packaging. And then I had some Score-Bit toffee sort of things, which you can get in the baking aisle. But then I was online on my other favorite store, you know, the one that starts with an A, and I found that Caramel makes little sort of caramel nugget, or not caramel, sorry, Kraft makes little caramel nuggets. So I've ordered those. They just haven't arrived yet. So I just stuck some of those in just to show you, to kind of give you the visual. I'm going to put the little caramel nuggets in there with the apple cider little packets that I also have on order. And these test tubes I've gotten at another local craft store. I'm sure you know the one, and because I've talked about these before. And these are great. They're 6 inches by 1 inch, and they come, of course, empty. And they have just a screw top lid on them, and you can pretty much put anything you want in them. I put hot chocolate in there. I put mini marshmallows in there. I've put all kinds of stuff. So those are great to pick up when you see them, buy them, because they seem to go very fast and they're not super expensive. Other places do carry them, but they seem to be harder and harder to find. So, and Stampin' Up did have them, but discontinued them. I really wish they'd bring them back, because I love doing packaging and stuff like that. So I wish they had more little fun things like this like they used to. So I'm going to show you how to create the little pocket package, and it's nothing too complicated. And you could add, whoops, mine's come unglued. Never mind, I'll fix it later. You could add a little 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white on the back, and then write a little note to whoever your recipient is. So that shouldn't be sticking out the bottom, but you know, magic of television, it doesn't really work. So what you need is your trimmer, and you need a card base in whatever color you want. I've obviously chosen to do it in the Sweet Sorbet, I think this is, and use the Cottage Wreath Designer Series paper, I think it's called. I can't remember. So you can choose either pattern, and you need a card base of 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, so that makes your typical base. And then you're going to want to mark a tick at 2 3/4 along the 5 1/2 inch side. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slip it in our trimmer and get your blade. So you're going to line up your little tick along the guide, and then you're going to line up your score mark along the top here. You're going to kind of connect the dots, and you're going to cut them. And that's going to give you a diagonal. Oops, mine didn't cut all the way through here. I'll just trim that. I probably didn't add enough pressure at the end there. So then you're going to get your diagonal cut that you want. And if your pencil mark is still showing, just grab an eraser and erase that off so you don't see it, because it will poke out a little bit. And then you're going to do the same. So with your Designer Series paper, it's 4 by 5 1/8, and you're going to mark a tick along your 5 1/8 side at 2 5/8. And then we're going to do the same thing to create that diagonal cut. Line up your edge in the trimmer and your pencil mark on the other end. You may or may not be able to see this on camera. It's kind of hard to get it, but you're going to get that diagonal piece there. And so this should fit very nicely, if you've cut it correctly, on top of that. And I've got my pencil mark there, so I'm just going to erase that, and then we'll get the trimmer out of the way. And sorry, I'm erasing and probably moving the camera. I apologize. The things you think of after, right? So we've created our little pocket, and we've got our little decorative piece. So to close up the little pocket, I've used the tear and tape. So I'm just going to put a piece along the bottom here and a piece along this side. And that should secure it, unlike my sample that is coming apart. It will not, usually. And then you're just going to pull that backing off. I usually just swipe my nail down it to make sure that it's sealed to the cardstock. And then we'll create our pocket. So we're just lining up the two edges, and it kind of leaves you a little bit of the actual pocket. Okay, so that creates our pocket that our hot chocolate, our apple cider, whatever you have on hand, whatever you think your guests would like. I'll just use this one as an example. It's after 8, and so it'll just slip in there, just like that. Okay, and you just want to sort of test that out to make sure you've got it correctly and sealed down. If not, just sort of run your fingers along and make sure that's sealed down. So now we'll attach our designer series paper. And so you'll see I customized to my Macintosh Toffee one, but the colors in this designer series paper kind of range from blacks to yellows to oranges to anything. So you could customize to the green and the After 8. You kind of customize your project to what you want the final result to look like, or just do it in fall colors because you're wanting to add to your tablescape, and you can match it to that as well. So you'll see I've kind of done some decorating on it. So I've pre-done some of it, but I'm going to show you a little trick on how to get the extra little elements into the leaves. So I've die cut some leaves, and I've die cut a little acorn, and I've used my label from the seasonal label dies that came back from last year's catalog, and I've used the grading obviously from Hello Harvest and just embossed that in white on top of it. And I didn't do a very good job on my A there. I see it kind of got cut off, but that's okay. All right, so let's show you a little coloring tip. So I'm going to show you how to sort of layer in the sort of different colors of autumn and how your leaves would be changing and what they would look like. So this is a trick that I've showed before. I believe it was Kim Fee that did it with the robot stamp set when it came out in the spring. And what she did was she just kind of dotted in, this is dark or light Cajun craze. She just dotted in different areas the Cajun craze and the dark Daffodil Delight to kind of get the yellow tones. You can just do a little blob, but for some reason she did the dots, and I'm not really sure why she did that, so I just continued on what she was doing because it seemed to work for her. And then I brought in Old Olive in the light and the dark. So I'm just going to color over everything right over top in the light Old Olive. Try and stay in the lines like I didn't right there. You'll see the camera might not pick it up because it'll be too far away. So we've just gone over that with the light Old Olive, and then I'm bringing in the dark Old Olive, and I'm just going to highlight the veins of the leaf, and it will kind of blend into that light because I'm not being super careful, and obviously the nib is a bit wider than those little lines, and then you sort of get that shading nice and easy, right? I'll hold that up so you can see. Pretty, right? Okay, and then we're going to come in with our dark and our light soft succulent, or not soft succulent, sorry, soft suede. Brown is not green. And I basically just colored the whole acorn with the light, and then we'll come in with the dark and do some highlighting. My pens don't want to stay on the table here. So we'll just highlight the little area down there, and then basically I just sort of quickly, randomly, there's no rhyme or reason to how I really did this, did the little kind of circular things that they have there, and then I went over the bottom again just to darken that up a little bit. And you can come in and out as many times as you want with your blends to darken it up to get it to the color that you want. Oops, I'll call it the little stem here. Just like that. And then I took my Wink of Stella because I wanted my acorn to have a little bit of texture to it. I just sort of highlighted that top and then the little bottom area there, and I'll hold it up. There we go, the camera will get it there. Cute, right? Let's make sure that it went back in focus. I saw it go a little blurry there. Okay, so we'll quickly cut these out just because my die machine is way on the other side there, and this sometimes is just easier to cut it out. But there is dies that go with this, so you do not have to hand cut this like I am. And then we'll put this together, and I'll show you a couple extra samples. So this is super cute, super easy to do project that you could, you know, give to the neighbors, give as hostess gifts, take to work, to your work colleagues, just to celebrate, to thank them, to welcome in fall. Fall starts on Thursday, the 22nd. Hard to believe. I know we had snow a few years ago at Halloween here in Alberta, so I'm hoping that it doesn't mean that winter is fast approaching for us in less than a month. Actually, I think it was before Halloween we had snow. Oh, we're gonna have a visitor here in a sec. You might be able to hear my dog entering the studio. Hi, Kane. He's coming to check out what we're making, especially when there's treats involved in it. Hi, buddy. Okay, he'll lie on his bed and leave us alone. So let's give this a quick decoration. So I just attached this to the base, just like that. And it looks like I colored my finger there. And then I grabbed my dimensionals, my minis, and I sort of just layered on the leaves. So I just put a little strip down and layered these together, just like that. And then with a dimensional on the back of my acorn, I kind of just put the acorn in the middle, just like that. Cute, right? I love these. And then down here, I just sort of slid my one leaf and put my acorn over top. Just like that. Nothing complicated. Simple and cute is the way you want to go here. So then to attach our little test tube, so you'd want to fill it with either the score bits or with marshmallows. Say you wanted to do marshmallows with the After 8 or the caramel bites that I have on the way. You'll attach that by just running a strip of tear tape right here. And I'm not going to pull this off because I'm going to wait until my little caramel things arrive, and I can attach it on once I've filled those. So then you'll pull the strip off and that'll just attach there. But I'll show you what I did to decorate the little tube here. So I just took our, what did we call this? Threaded twine in silver, and I wrapped it around 3 times. Just because I love the look of this sort of raffia twine. And I tied it in a knot. And then I cut off my extra. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my pokey tool, and I just took my pokey tool and roughed up the edges. Now mine are a little bit longer than they were on the other one. And it just pulls apart, so you can just then take your fingers and pull that apart. Expose that little silver thread that's going through it. And same on the other side. And I'll hold it up in a second to show you. And this is one of those ribbons that I said you can dissect. It's always fun to dissect ribbons, and you could pull out this thread and use it on something else, or you could use these little raffia twine things on another project as well. So you can leave that as rough and wild as you like, or you can trim it down like I've done on this one. I sort of just made it little. And then I had these are retired, and I wish they'd brought them back because they're so cute. But basically I just took some glue, Tombow glue, and glued in one of the little acorns inside of the little, sort of right by the knot. The knot kind of held it down. And just to embellish it a little bit for autumn. And then you would just attach that there like that with your embellishment on it. And it's cute. It's a little cute packaging that you could give out to anyone that you wanted. So I'll just put that down there. That one's really stuck. I'm gonna have to pull that one apart. And I've got a few other samples for you using that. So I'll bring back in the one I showed you a minute ago, which was cased from Elizabeth Price. And she used Cajun Craze, obviously a very nice fall autumny color. And Autumn Wishes. That paper is retired, but of course we have other in color papers in the 6x6 packs that you could use. And then just used a white, what did I use there? Craft ink with my, or craft refill ink with my water painter, and I just sort of splashed it on there. And then with my blender pen, it kind of blended it out so that it kind of looks like a pinky tone almost. But I came in and blended the corners with the Cajun Craze as well. And then just used my blender pens to color in the flowers. And I've layered this one here with just a pop dot dimensional there, and added some linen thread in behind. Quite pretty. She created a beautiful card. I love it. And then this one is very sort of, I think they call it sepia tones, so the browns. I used the leaf from Hello Harvest. So I did bring in another set here, the leaf right here, as my background. And then I just took my aqua painter again, and some soft succulent and some soft, or crumb cake, sorry, and just kind of embellished the leaves and the acorns and the flowers. I colored in the centers with soft saffron. And then my berries, I don't know if the camera will get it, I just put Winkastella on those. So I left them white and just Winkastella'd them. I'm trying to get the camera to pick that up. It's not doing it very well. And then there's that cool banner, just with some linen thread underneath. And then these are the seasonal sequins. And then I've used on the background, these are those, oh, what are they called? Deckled rectangle dies. I cut one out of basic white. Used the stitched greenery die, and then I've used the fern, if you can see him behind there, on some crumb cake. And on some soft suede, I've used the evergreen mini folder, I think it's called, or wintry evergreen, something like that, embossing folder there. And then layered that on top of the white one that I cut. It's so pretty. Love it. A little bit fussy because it's got all those elements, but it uses all three, because remember I said that the die set will cut out all three of those elements. So of course I have a pile of them. So I've basically used all three of these and just sort of layered them on top of each other. So that one, the flowers, is layered on top of the acorns in the middle, and just sort of the ones sticking out. So you can layer those as well. They look gorgeous. And then this one, I've used the larger stamp to create a background. This is that Deckled Rectangle dies again. And then I've colored the flowers just with my blends and used some linen thread in behind, and the seasonal sequins in gold again, and made a nice little thank you card on some soft seafoam. And this is Mossy Meadow. So really pretty, sort of fallish. This will be my customer thank you card this month. So if you've ordered from me, you will get that in your thank yous. Because I appreciate you, and I love making thank you cards for my customers. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that this has inspired you to create some little gift packs for some people you know. You could even Halloween them up. Put the mini marshmallows, put a hot chocolate in there, and then do like Halloween theme with the yellow or the orange checkered paper out of the cottage DSP, and then add like a witch's hat, or we have some really cute little Halloween stamp sets this year, and make it a little Halloween gift pack that you hand out to your little trick-or-treaters this year. So that's all I have for you today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. I will post some other samples, of course, on Wednesdays. They go live on my Facebook page at 11, and live on my Instagram page at 11:30. And you will get some other sample ideas there for using the Fond of Autumn set. I've also brought in the Hello Harvest, And I did bring in nuts about squirrels on my samples as well. So you're gonna have a few sets. If you have one or all three, you'll have some few ideas there to create some autumn cards. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day and paper hugs. Bye-bye.